Well, hi everyone. Welcome to Webinar Wednesday. This isn't something new I'm trying here from allytheist.com. Tonight's webinar is taking your relationship from boring to vibrant. And this is a free webinar. I wanted to present this to you guys so that you can see what my webinars will be like starting on January 8th. Now, starting on January 8th till the end of June, there will be one every single Wednesday. And I'll be alternating between sex, love, and relationship webinars one week, and then the next week it'll be something metaphysical, and then the following week it'll be something sex, love, and relationships, and then the following week something metaphysical. So it's going to go back and forth between January 8th and the end of June 2014. Now, depending how the webinars are doing, if you guys are liking them, then I'll continue them in the fall. Right now, I don't know if I'm going to. We'll see how it goes. But I thank you for showing up and being here at the webinar. This, if you know me at all, and if you've ever been to any of my radio shows, you know I'm kind of like rough around the edges to start with until I get stuff to where I want it. My radio shows, The Passion Zone and the Ally Thies Show, have evolved over time. And the webinars are also going to evolve over time. So, stick with me. It's been a couple years since I've done webinars. Hopefully I'll push all the buttons right, the right buttons when I'm supposed to. Okay? Yeah, sounds fantastic. So let's jump on in. Taking your relationship from boring to vibrant, because face it, who likes to have a boring relationship? I know I don't. I know my cat here, Sarah, she doesn't like it either. So, what happens to a relationship? You start off, everything's fabulous. You're going through the love and the emotions and the cuddling and the attention, and there's passion and there's sizzle, and it's ooh la la, and you're loving it. And then all of a sudden, holy crap, what happened? Well, you're not alone. Every relationship enters the boring zone at some point in time. Everyone does. It doesn't matter if you've been together a year or two, 6 months, 30 years. We all get there. It sucks, but it happens. And few relationships can pull themselves out of boring. Once you get into the boring zone, people get used to being bored. And that's not a good thing. Because once a relationship hits that snooze zone, unless there's an effort from both partners, it's doubtful the relationship can survive without anger, frustration, and sadness. Because when you're in that boring zone, part of you is thinking, well, gosh, do they love me? Do they still want me? Should we stay together? And a lot of people start to look for, where the grass is greener. Yeah, the boring zone makes a lot of people cheat. It also makes a lot of people start drinking, taking drugs, using food to help their feelings of being bored. So if you can't get out of the zone, it's bad news. But luckily, there are plenty of ways to get out of the zone. You just have to want to. Now, the top reasons, as a sex coach, the top reasons people have given me on how the relationship has become boring. They've been too busy with work, the kids, their responsibilities. One or both have unresolved anger or frustration at the partner. The partner's grooming skills or their body are less than desirable. And when I talk about grooming skills, maybe when you were first together, they took a shower every day, and then it got to be every other day. Now maybe it's once a week. Or, they take a shower every day, but then they wash their hair once a week, and it gets kind of icky and greasy. Or maybe they don't shave and you want them shaven. There's a lot of different things that can happen with the grooming skills. And bodies, the longer we are with somebody, the more out of shape our body becomes. Unless when we met our partner, we were in great physical shape and we met during a physical activity like rock climbing, running, bicycling, swimming, something like that. Those type of people usually stay in shape together, so that's fabulous, but most do not. Another thing is you or your partner lack a sexual skill set. Many people don't know what to do in bed. They just don't. It's no one's fault really, but they just don't know what to do. I've heard that they love each other, but the hard work is done. Hey man, I got him, I got her. Our hard work is done. We don't have to work at it anymore. Oh, so wrong. And last is they misinterpret lust for love. I get this one a lot. A lot. The lust and love thing. Now, the stages of love, that's why I put this in here. First, it's lust. When we meet somebody for the first time, we are lusting all over them. We want them. We can't wait to see them. We crave them. We want their bodies. We want to kiss them. We want to smell them. We want to hear them talk, no matter what it's about. We all hit that. It's the lust zone. After about 6 to 8 weeks, the lust zone, it either fades away and you don't go any further because you don't want to, or it's fading into the love zone. The love zone, you want to see one another, you want to be with one another, but you're not jumping into each other's arms all the time. You don't have that craving. Okay, love is steady. Love is deep. Love is something that is within, and it gives you peace and contentment. That's love. That's the love stage. And then you hit the deeper, forever love. These are the type of people you see celebrate their 75th or the 80th wedding anniversary. It goes past the love to a deeper love. It's I don't even know how to put it. It's like you're a foundation of rock together. You still have passion. You still lust one another every once in a while. You are deeply in love with one another. When you get to the deeper forever love stage, there's rarely any jealousy. There's not any obsessiveness. There's not a deep desire to see them on a constant basis or talk to them when you're apart. But you rarely spend a night apart during the deeper forever love. You usually spend each night together, either in the same bed or at least in the same house. I do know quite a few people when they get older, usually because of medical reasons, they sleep in the same house, but they sleep in separate beds. Okay, and I do know some people who are married and very happily married in the deeper forever love, but instead of living in the same house, they live in two separate houses, and but they still see each other every day. So it's whatever works for you. But those are the stages of love. Now the bottom line is relationships take work. They will always take work. However, that work doesn't have to feel like work. It never has to feel like work, which is the good thing. Now, some simple ways to reconnect, because when you are trying to go back from boring to vibrant, you have to take baby steps. You don't get up one day when you're a baby and run across the room. No, you crawl, and then you walk, and then you run. That's the same way with adding the sizzle back into a relationship. You're not going to start groping one another all of a sudden, or kissing one another and ripping off each other's clothes. It's a slow crawl. It really is. So the first thing you want to do is to connect with each other. Now, I want to remind you guys, I don't know if you can see it here in the chat room, but if you want to download the PDF that goes with this, the link is above. And if you can't see it in the chat room, guys, let me know and I'll type the link again down below. It might help you go along with the slideshow here. I don't know. But there it is. Okay. So simple ways to connect. Number one, you want to do things together. In order to reconnect, you have to do things together. It doesn't have to be everything. It doesn't. Everyone needs their own personal space. But having a daily shared activity, something maybe like cooking, reading, watching your favorite TV show together, doing outside work, will help strengthen your bond. 2, you want to schedule in me time. Yeah, me, baby, me. That means taking care of yourself. And that's not a selfish act. It really isn't. It's a requirement to stay happy and fulfilled in your own life. And if you're happy with you, then it's easier to be happy with your partner. Happy equals strength. Don't ever forget that. You always want to say, I love you. And you know what? You got to mean it. Now, you don't have to say those 3 words every time you see each other, talk, text, whatever, but your partner and you will need to hear it, and it must be said with sincerity, or it's all meaningless. Oh, thanks for telling me the link is shown, guys. 4, speak what you think. Communication is essential and it's needed for a lasting relationship, but honest communication is essential to make a relationship strong. Say what's on your mind. Do not let assumption creep into your partnership. Assumption will kill a partnership fast, real fast. Touch one another. I know it sounds like a no-brainer, huh? But when you are disconnected from your partner, you rarely touch one another. And again, I'm not necessarily talking about a sensual touch, a touch on the shoulder, a hug every once in a while. Being physical, it's a wonderful act that communicates to your partner that you care. And again, it doesn't matter what kind of touch it is, a kiss, a hug, a nice shoulder rub. Humans crave touch, period. Don't let your partner receive that touch from somebody else. Make sure it's you. Number 6, butter them up. But no, not with a stick of butter. I know where you were going with that thought. No, you don't want to butter them up that way. What you want to do is you want to give them compliments. Say something nice to your partner every day without going overboard and sounding cheesy. Nobody likes a cheesy compliment, trust me. 7, sex. Yes, that's what I said, sex. It's very important. Now, while this doesn't have to be done every day, it should be done more than once a month. If you're not being physical with your partner, somebody else will do it for you. Humans crave touch, and that really is a line I cannot express enough. Humans crave touch. If they're not getting it from you, they're getting it from somebody else. So make sure it's always you. You want to grab a midday check-in. I like these midday check-ins. It doesn't have to be long or involved. Just a nice little call, text, maybe an email, and just say, hey, I'm thinking of you. How's your day? It doesn't take long to do. It takes maybe, 2-3 seconds, and that person knows that you're caring about them, right? Okay. 9, let the laughter flow. Laughter is fantastic, and making each other laugh is a great stress reliever. Even if one or both of you are not a particularly funny person, you still need that daily laugh. Watch a favorite TV sitcom, or maybe rent a comedy you both like. And number 10, same bedtime. If you go to bed at the same time, you can accomplish most of the top things I said together above in one love test swoop. Have love fest, swoop on in, same bedtime, and you can do things together. You're going to bed together. You can say I love you. You can speak what you think, have a little bit of talk time. You can touch one another. You can give each other a compliment. You can have sex, and you can laugh at one another. I mean, sex is funny. If you think about it, it really is funny. But, those are simple ways to reconnect, and it doesn't cost you an arm and a leg. Very simple, and it gets out there. Any questions so far from the people who are listening? If you do have a question, just throw it there in the chat room, and I will jump in and answer it, I hope. When the webinars get going on a regular schedule in January, I will always take questions throughout the webinar. And if I have a lot of questions during a webinar, the questions I do not get to, what I will do is I'll try to type them up in a nice PDF and send it out with the booklet that goes with the webinars so that all the questions get answered. I think that's fair. And if you want to have a question answered during a webinar, but you can't attend the webinar, the cost for the webinar, whether you're at it or not, is the same cost. And you can always send me a question ahead of time at alleythies@yahoo.com, and I will make sure I get it in the webinar and I answer it. Okay? Okay, moving on. So, simple ways to add passion back into a relationship. Okay, previously that we were crawling. Now we are walking. Okay? For an afternoon, indulge in naked abandonment. I like this. Be naked together. And as you're naked, cook a meal, watch TV, do laundry. How about vacuum the floor? Just do it all in the nude. And if being in the nude is uncomfortable for either party, spend the day walking around in just a t-shirt and a pair of panties or briefs. It's sexy to watch your partner walk around in either nothing or barely nothing. You can spend time together taking turns reading to one another out of an erotic novel. This is one of my favorite things. And when you find a passage that makes the heartbeat faster, kind of turns you on, role play and act out that passage. So if you're reading something in an erotica novel and it really just zings you both, have a little role play. You know, you don't need the costumes, you don't need to be in a special locale. Just be an actor and an actress and you're acting it out. It works. You can whip up a fast dessert of strawberries, blueberries, and raspberries layered with whipped cream in individual glasses. Now, those are really good. I've had these. But what you do with this is you spoon feed one another, or better yet, you spread the fruity mixture on each other's body and lick it off. Oh, yeah. Grab a couple dollar squirt guns and spend a few hours playing cops and robbers like kids without a care in the world. Now, when you're soaked, peel off the clothes and towel each other dry. See how that works? Remember back to the first time, oops, I forgot about leave naughty messages. Leave naughty messages all over the house, you know, on mirrors, inside clothing, in the drawers, you know, telling one another, I want to make you scream, or I'm going to eat you, or you know what I mean. You know, different things like that you would be telling one another, real sexy stuff, and paste them different places. Next, you want to remember back to the first time sex was on the table. If you've ever had sex on the table, or in the bathroom stall, or the car, or the office desk, and recreate what the experience was like at home. When you first start dating somebody, when you first with somebody, you tend to have sex in areas that you wouldn't have sex in when you're together a long time. You know, because when you're in that lust stage, you'll have sex just about anywhere. And you want to think about where that anywhere was back when you two first got together again. And if you want to go recreate the same scene again wherever you were, fine by me. Just don't get arrested. But if not, then do it in the comfort of your own home. You know, recreate the scene. It's fun to do. Yes. Okay. Now, instead of having sex, or the horizontal dance as I call it, in bed, you know, have sex in the kitchen, on the kitchen floor, on the bathroom counter, or the lawn furniture at night, or your neighbor's pool, provided again you don't get caught. Make a game out of the menial chores, such as washing dishes or folding laundry. Whoever can maybe fold the most clothes or maybe wash and dry the most dishes gets to pick out the evening festivities. Sounds good, doesn't it? Thumb through a sex position book with closed eyes while counting to 10. Now, once you reach 10, stop, check out the position on the page, and try it out. Open you up to a whole new level. 10, the 10th thing I've got. Kiss one another for more than 20 seconds. Now, I'm saying that because a lot of people, when they kiss, it's a fast kiss. It's either a quick kiss on the lips, or if there's any tongue action, it doesn't last very long. Okay, it doesn't last nearly long enough. So you want to kiss longer than 20 seconds. Hold the lips together and allow the wonderful wetness of one another to hold in the mouth. Slowly allow the tongues to probe each other's mouths like you're mining for gold. Don't be a jackhammer. The goal is not to see how intense the kisses can fly, but to slow down and explore one another's wet softness. Kissing is good. It's fun. It brings up passion. It shows you guys one another how much you care for each other. And for a lot of people, kissing is fantastic foreplay. So kissing away can get the juices flowing faster than a lot of things. And if you're not that great of a kisser, I always think practice makes perfect. You know, if you're kissing one another for more than 20 seconds, and you don't particularly like how your partner kisses, you can tactfully give them tips on what they can do. And instead of saying, hey, I don't like how you do this, try it this way, say, you know, why don't we try this? Or if I move my head this way, why don't you do this with yours and our tongues? And how about this speed? Always making a suggestion so they can go, oh yeah, not too shabby. Don't ever tell them they're a bad kisser. That will crush somebody's ego. That's like telling a man that his penis is too small. You do not want to do that. That will crush his ego, and that's just mean. So you have to be able to present something to your partner without hurting their feelings. So you always want to say, hey, let's try this. That's why you're getting them to try something new, and you're not putting any blame on anybody. Okay? Always remember that. Don't blame your partner. That and assumption, bad news. Okay? Anybody have any questions yet? There's a question here in the chat room about a couple got together and they were so in love to begin with that they never had just a pure lustful stage. It was more romance and desire. Now, the lustful stage for most lasts 6 to 8 weeks. For some people, it can last 24 hours. For you guys, that's how long it may have lasted, 24 hours. Each couple is different, especially if you factor in how many past lives they have together, their soul connection, their soulmates. It gets really involved. So there are other factors to take into place, but for the norm, it's 6 to 8 weeks. So, but that's fantastic. You went right into love right off the bat. I like that stuff. Okay, so we were walking and then, no, we were crawling, then we were walking, and now we're running. Because now I want to talk about the simple ways to pleasure a woman and then the simple ways to pleasure your man. Yes. Okay, I'm just reading the chat room real fast. Yep, all they wanted to do was connect. That's excellent. Excellente. Okay, ways to please your woman, man. Please your lady. Because you know what they say. When mama ain't happy, nobody's happy. And that's true. I'm not going to lie. As a female, I can completely and totally relate to this. So what can you do? Well, guys, you want to show up and be present in the moment. And I mean, I really mean that. Be present in the moment. When you're talking to your lady, listen to her. Actually listen. Don't think about work, the current sports game, or even if you're going to win your fantasy football league. Don't think about any of that stuff. Just pay attention to her, because if you pay attention and you listen and you absorb it in, then she's not going to be after you about, did you hear me? Okay, and as men, us women can be, we can be all over that. We can be after you and after you and after you. Even when you're in your grave, we can be after you if you were listening to us. So do everybody a favor and just listen the first time. And then we're done. It's perfect. Do your share of the work. Now, I know you're thinking, Al, you said simple ways to pleasure your woman. Well, you know what, gentlemen? If you do your share of the work, say you live together and you cook dinner every once in a while, or clean the kitchen, dishes, maybe run that vacuum cleaner. If you have kids or pets, you help there too. For a female, when you help out around the house, it turns a lady on. It does, because it takes less pressure off the women to get things done if the guy's helping out. And it also, not only does it free up more time for her and lessen stress, it frees up more time for sex. Think ahead, guys. Think ahead. It's important. Okay? Okay. Give a gift for no reason. Don't wait till Christmas, the anniversary, and her birthday. And I'm really hoping you remember the birthday and the anniversary. Or Valentine's Day. Those are 4 fantastic times to give presents. But for the heck of things, just give them something. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be expensive. You're at the store, you saw something, You thought, oh my God, I think she might like this. You just pick it up and give it to her. And she's like, oh my God, why'd you do this? And you just say, because, well, I love you. And that will melt her heart. If her heart is melting, gentlemen, the odds of you having sex are even better. Okay, but don't give her a gift just for sex. Because if you give her a gift and then you're all over her and she's busy, it's counteractive. So just don't do it. Give her the gift, tell her you love her, and then take a step back and see how she reacts to it. Okay? Okay. Be expressive when needed. If she needs to hear something from you, please tell her. Don't stay bottled up. It doesn't do you and her any good. When you guys are having a discussion, don't retreat into the normal man cave behavior and keep your feelings to yourself. She's not a mind reader. I know you think she is sometimes. Like, how'd she know that? But she really is not a mind reader. So open up and tell her how you feel. If she's making you angry, if she's pissing you off, she needs to know. Now, how, again, does that pleasure a woman? You're asking? It makes her very happy when a guy expresses their feelings. If she knows what's going on in their head, it makes her happy. If she's happy, then the stress level goes down. If the stress level goes down, you may be able to get physical with her. You see how it all works? I know you do. Okay. Keep in mind that she is more than breasts and a vagina. There's much more to her body. Much more than her boobs and her vagina. And I say this because many men, when they're having sex with their lady, that's what they concentrate all their attention on. The breasts and the nipples, sometimes turning the nipples like a radio knob. Gentlemen, please don't do that. We don't necessarily like trying to be tuned in by the nipples. So you can play with them, just don't do that. And they go straight for the breasts, and then they're down the vagina trying to, insert. And there's nothing in between. The human body, for both male and female, they have so many sensual parts all over. In the crook of the elbows and behind the knees and the inner thigh and kissing the belly and the neck. It's so sensual all over the place. But I'm telling you what, though, again, the worst is the twisting. Again, in the chat room, they're saying, that's right, the worst is the twisting. Gentlemen, we hate it. Women hate it. Do not use the nipples as a radio knob. They don't work that way. I cannot express that enough. But if all you think about with the ladies is her breast and her vagina, you need to be more in tune with the rest of her body. And if you don't know what to do with that, you can come to a sex coach like me, and I can tell you different things you can do, or you can go and get a book or Google the internet and find out the central spots of a woman and remember it. Which brings us to the next one. Keep in mind that there's a difference between porn and reality sex. Now, porn is not real sex. I mean, they're having sex, but it's not reality sex. It's not. I know quite a few porn stars, and they assure me that this is correct. It's not the same thing. There are many breaks in between, action from start to finish. Most men's penises are not that big, and most women, you cannot fit a cow inside of her. The vagina does stretch, but it only stretches to a point. Okay, guys. And most women do not like to have shots of goo in their face. Not really. And, you can't go from start to finish in 5-10 minutes. Porn stars, for the most part, sit around, just like a regular movie set, sit around during the day. And then there's action, and they go to action and do a little bit. And then it's break. Then it's action again. And by the time the editing gets in, it's a nice long sex scene. You don't know that there's all those breaks in there. But I cannot reiterate this enough. Porn and reality sex are two separate things. And most men from the age of 25 and under are thinking that porn is real sex, and that's how they should act in bed. And that's what they should expect in bed. And it is two separate things. And if you know the difference and you treat your lady like you know the difference, that makes her happy. And again, guys, what happens if she's happy? That's right. You're probably going to get to have sex. Remember that. Never stop experimenting. And you're like, well, what does that mean? Well, as a lady ages, as a female ages, her body's sensitivity changes as her arousal level rises and at some point in time lowers. Vary the pressure of your touch or the length or let's try that again. I got too many thoughts in my head. Vary the pressure of your touch or the length of how long you do touch. Okay? It's the sensitivity for females change. The younger we are, the more as we age from like 18 up until the 40s. With each year, we are aroused easier as time goes on. In actuality, when we hit about 43 to 48, depending, the arousal starts to go back down because we hit perimenopause, a lot of people. And if you don't know about perimenopause or menopause, that's when we were losing estrogen and a lot of different things happen. Hot flashes, mood swings, the whole 9 yards. But the arousal then is going on a downward spiral. And when it goes down, your touches need to be a bit more harder. They need to last a bit longer. You see where I'm going here? Okay? So, never start experimenting with the touch. Now, I know this sounds kind of weird. She needs the distraction. What does that mean? What does that mean, she needs a distraction? During sex, men usually tend to focus on the end game, meaning how fast am I going to get to come? Where's the orgasm? Is she going to orgasm? I hope she orgasms. You're thinking already at the end game. But women's minds wander, and more often than not, into a fantasy. Encourage the fantasy as a way for her to disconnect her mind from the day-to-day pressures and enjoy the experience. You can always get the mood started by creating an erotic fantasy before things heat up. Then you can whisper provocative statements, not dirty talk really, but more sexy talk, to each other in turn, building a story she can get lost in. So fantasy does not necessarily mean she's thinking of somebody else. This fantasy can be something she is involved in with you. And just throw this in here, fantasy, having a fantasy during sex of having sex with somebody other than whom you're with is normal. Most people do it at some point in time in the relationship. It's natural. It's not supposed to replace the person they're with. It's not meant to make the sex any less meaningful. For women, a lot of times, again, it's the distraction. It's detaching from the day-to-day stuff. It's detaching from the stress. And once a lady detaches, she's able to get into the rhythm more. She's able to enjoy the sex better. Okay? Okay, next, let her take charge. I know usually, not all the time, but usually men take charge. Men take the lead with sex. But let her control the pace and the intensity. Either only at first, if that's okay, or maybe the whole time, depending on her mood. Encourage her to be on top. It allows her to take advantage of a full range of positions, facing you, facing away, and even sitting cross-legged on you. Yes. Slow down. Oh yeah. Pulling back when she's near climax and then resuming can enhance her orgasm. When you know she's at the edge, either by her reaction to the experience or you ask her, stop thrusting and just kiss her body. Repeat several times, build up, back off, build up, and back off until you take her over the edge. No worries about her losing the moment. It normally takes 5 to 10 minutes to lose arousal. Unless your parents walk in or your kids open the door. And then the arousal probably goes pretty fast. But other than that, it takes 5 to 10 minutes to lose the arousal. And a comment in the chat room, yes, and from a gentleman, he gets to be lazy when she's on top. That is absolutely correct because she's doing all the work. But she also gets to control, again, the speed and the thrusting, the intensity of the thrust, and if she faces you, if she doesn't face you. So it's all good. And last, ladies first. Allow her to orgasm first before you climax. This way you know that both of you are satisfied to the fullest. This makes her happy, and this makes you happy. Right? Okay. Just making sure can you guys still hear me okay? Had something funky just happen with my computer. Just want to make sure you can hear me. If you could put in the chat room that you could, that'd be awesome. Okay, thank you. Thanks, guys. It's strange. I know Mercury isn't into retrograde yet, and for those of you who don't know about Mercury in retrograde, it is when the planet looks like the planet is going backwards, although Mercury does not actually travel backwards. And it screws up communications and electronic equipment and yada yada. And this past week, I don't know about you, but for me, it's been rather interesting with my electronics. So next, we're going to go to men. Oh yes, simple ways to pleasure your man. And ladies, that means more than just showing up. Okay? Men are more complicated than you make them out to be. Now, first of all, what you want to do, get a drink of water here, is you want to talk to him, not at him. And there is a big difference between the two. You talk to him like an equal. You talk at him like he's your child. There's a very big difference. If there's a problem to be solved, discuss it with your man without throwing blame. I know that doesn't sound like a great way to pleasure your man, but when he realizes that you're talking to him as an equal and not as a child, it makes him very happy. And if he's very happy, he may do you favors. And if he does you favors, then you're happy. And what happens? Yes, sex. Or at least intimacy or one-on-one time. So it's all good. Next, allow your guy to de-stress for 30 minutes after he comes home from work. Whether it's computer time for him, watching a little bit of TV, giving him some alone time will make whatever it is you want to discuss with him go much smoother. Women can multitask. You can usually start talking to her as soon as she walks through that door, and she can do 10 different things at once. Men don't multitask. Never have. Most of the times. There are some men who can multitask, but they are few and far between. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just the way everybody's wired. Women are wired to multitask. Men are not. Keep that in mind. Next, allow him some guide time. You gotta allow him some guide time. You cannot be with him 24/7. Whether it's getting together with his male buddies for a round of golf, maybe sitting around on a Sunday afternoon to watch his favorite sporting event, or just having a night out at the bar. He needs time with his buds. He does. You cannot be with him 24/7. And ladies, while he's out with his buds, you should be out with yours. Women need women time too. Never forget that. A man is more than just his penis. Just like ladies, you're more than your breasts and your vagina. A guy is more than just his penis. The way the media presents men, it doesn't look that way. It's all about the penis. But there are much more layers to a man than the obvious. There's more than the penis, there's more than food, and there's more than sports. There's more to that to a guy. You have to find out what it is. You have to, and on his body. I've noticed this too as a sex coach. When a man and a woman, they're in bed and having foreplay, having sex, the men, for the most part, again, spend most of their time on the breast and the vagina, but women just spend their time on the penis. Whether it's during sexual intercourse or oral sex, they don't kiss the man. They don't kiss his face and his neck and his chest and his arms and his legs and behind his knees. The nipples on a man are very sensitive. Some men like their nipples worked on and others don't. It all depends on your guy. but they're more than just the penis. And a lot of men don't just think with the penis either. They do use their big brain too. Don't forget that. Ladies, every once in a while, you're going to have to be the one to initiate sex. You know? Men, they get tired of being the one who puts their neck out all the time. And there's a question here in the chat room. Why would women not kiss a man they loved? And they said that's weird to them. You would be amazed what people do not do with the people they love. A lot of individuals are naive when it comes to sex. A good chunk of the country in high school, they are taught abstinence. They don't learn what they're supposed to do. They have no idea that the entire body, John Mayer has a song about, your body being a playground. And it really is. It's a wonderland. Maybe it's a wonderland and a playground. Anyways, but it's very true. There are so many sensual and sexual spots on each other's bodies. That wonderland, thank you. That you need to kiss. You need to explore. There are so many sensitive spots. Even the open palms of the hands. Lightly tickle them with your tongue. It's amazing. It's amazing what you do if you would just do it. But most people don't know. Most people do not know what they should be doing in bed. They just don't. They've never been taught. So that's why, people like me are around trying to educate people on sex. And sex coaching, it's a growing industry. Anyways, but that's why they don't do it. So, where was I at? Allow your man to go down on you during sex. A lot of women will not let their man perform oral sex. And a lot of men like it. They want to perform oral sex on their lady. It makes them happy to be there. Not only does it make you happy, it should, but it also makes them happy. They like the area. I'm amazed at how many women don't want the men in the area. Let's see, I'm just reading the chat room as I'm going along. Yeah, regular kissing, there's a comment. Regular kissing can go to the wayside as the relationship lengthens, as they forget basic things like this. That is correct. It's you get so used to the rhythm of the relationship and the outside pressures, and before you know it, you're doing those kisses. A quick kiss here and there. And you need more than that. That's why I think earlier I mentioned about kissing more than 20 seconds. And another person said that the parents always made out like teenagers. That is awesome. That is great. That's fantastic, the fact that someone's parents make out like teenagers. I like that. Okay, so let your man go down on you during sex. Now, ladies, don't be shy. Go down on your guy. That rhymes. Don't be shy. Go down on your guy. They like oral sex too. Yes. Yes, they do. And men are very visual creatures. They like to watch you performing oral sex on them. So if you can move your hair out of the way so that they can watch you, that's a double the pleasure. Men, very visual creatures. They love to watch. So if they can watch you pleasing them, it really is double the fun for them. So that's definitely a fantastic way to pleasure your man. Allow him to have part of the house in his man style. Usually a female will come in and take over the house and have the entire house the way she wants it. Okay? But you've got to let the guy have some area that's his. Let him put up his football stuff, his high school belongings, his pictures of the Budweiser girls or whatnot, the Hooter girls. You know darn well he's not going to sleep with the Hooter girls, so who cares that they're on his wall? Who cares? They're hot chicks. If it means that much to you, stick a picture of a hot guy in your bathroom. I don't know. I'm just throwing something out there. But it's okay if he has part of the house in his man style. He lives there. He needs to have his own place, his own man cave, his own area. I know some men, the house was done up, just the way the woman wanted it, and she did not want him to have anything. So I know lots of men who have gone to the garage and made it the man style. And I've been in some garages that are really, really nice. Couch, big TV, refrigerator, heater. They're decked out considerably, and those are the guy's man caves. And he goes away. He gets out there away from the woman, and if there's any kids, and he's able to watch his sports or tune into the Playboy channel and be happy. So let him have a part of his man style place in the house. Now, if you want your guy to do something in bed that's pleasurable to you, or if something you don't want him to do anymore, let him know. Not all men are wham bam thank you men. They want to know. They want to know what you want. They want to know what pleases you. They really do. If a guy likes you or loves you that much, he wants to know what turns you on, what flips your switch. Okay? And ladies, if you cannot climax, please do not fake the orgasm. I know you're doing it because either A, you want the sex to be done and over with because you have something else you want to go do, or B, it's just not, you're just not in the mood right now. Well, again, you would go with the first one. You just want it done and over with. But the problem is when you fake an orgasm, whatever led up to your fake orgasm, the guy thinks, hey, he did well. He did great. This is what she likes. I'll do it again. And you know what? He'll keep doing it again and again and again and again. And you'll keep faking it. And that is not the way to have a relationship. It is not. I can't stress that point enough either. But those are simple ways to pleasure your man. So we crawled when it came to reconnecting. And then we walked about bringing a little more passion in your life. And then we're running with simple ways to pleasure your lady and pleasure your guy. If you try some of these, just try them, then, you'll be amazed how your relationship can go from boring to vibrant. And you've got to always remember that neither of you are a mind reader. Neither of you. You're not mind readers. Even if you're psychic. I can feel some of you saying that. Even if you're psychic, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're a mind reader to your partner. Or him to you. Or you to him. Okay? So just keep that in mind. If you want something, if you need something, if you want to know something, ask it. You do not want to be stuck in a boring cycle. You don't. Because once you hit the boring, it's very, very difficult to get out of the boring. And you just do not want that. Okay? Now, if you have any questions about Webinar Wednesday, give me an email at allytheist@yahoo.com. If you want to see the full schedules of the upcoming webinars, you can go to my website, allytheist.com, go to Work With Me, plop down to Webinar, and the website Webinar Wednesday will pop up. Future webinars will be $25 per webinar, or $197 for a full year's worth of webinar access. So I'm probably going to have about 40 webinars in 2014 at least. But just on the safe side, I put 30 webinars on the slide here. 30 webinars, that's about $750 for a full year if you went to all of them. If you didn't go to all of them, if you only went to half, that's still, what, $475? The $197 you would make up by going to 8 webinars an entire year. And the nice thing about these webinars is I'll do it live, obviously like this. And it's going to be recorded, so you can go back and go through it. You have the PDF that goes along with it. So if you can't make it to the webinar itself, you can always get the webinar after the webinar is done. And if you want to ask me a question for the webinar and you cannot be in the webinar, you can always email me the webinar ahead of time at alleythies@yahoo.com. During the webinar, you can ask all the questions you want in the chat room, and I will keep glancing over to see if there's any questions. See how easy that is? I know it's easy. So those in the chat room, any questions? Now that we are finished with the presentation. It doesn't look that way. Well, fantastic. Whoop. Great job. Oh, thank you. Again, it's been a while since I've done a webinar. I forgot how much I liked them. Eventually, I may let the video cam thing go and like wave high before I start in with the presentation. Although I highly doubt it, but there's always that possibility. I'm pretty scary looking now, but it doesn't matter. I want to thank you guys for stopping by and for listening to the webinar. Again, the webinars will start on January 8th. They will go every single Wednesday, alternating between metaphysical and love and sex. The first webinar, which I think it's Empower Your Life. What it is goal setting. It's goal setting with a metaphysical twist. So I'm going to help you plan out your 2014 with some metaphysical aid along the way. So Empower Your Life is the metaphysical webinar, but it's about goal setting for 2014. So it's kind of both, but I just put it in the metaphysical section because it has metaphysical elements to it. Okay? Using numerology, I'm trying to think what I have in there. Numerology and runes and something else I think I have in there. I already wrote it. I just forgot what I wrote. Anyways, check out the website. Check out the webinars. They're $25 each, or $197 for a full year's webinar access. And the $197, it gets you to all the webinars, plus it gets you to all the Bliss articles at alleythies.com too. Okay? So thanks a lot for stopping by and for tuning in to Webinar Wednesday. You guys have a wonderful week, and I will see you on January 8th.